The musket is almost a necessary part of war when it comes to New World. I think that having that range capability just cannot be understated how important it is in the war PvP sections of New World. And tonight we're going to go through what my build is that I use when I am in war and leading as the general for my company. And I think this is the only way to build your musket. Welcome back, everyone. My name is K-Dog. Like I said, tonight we're going to go through what is my build for the musket when it comes to I am someone who is the shot caller or general for our wars in the Boops and Bubbles Guild. So I am up on the ramparts a lot of the time, kind of watching and making a lot of the calls and providing a lot of the long range damage when it comes down to it. But muskets in general are going to be filling that role in war. So this build that I have is largely geared towards war, but I think that is the primary use for the musket. The musket is not a great PvE weapon in my opinion. And yeah, in open world PvP, you can maybe go into the trapper side a little bit and make some plays there. But I think the musket really shines at a distance and can be used in open world PvP at that distance. But anytime somebody gets close, I don't think using the trapper side is enough of a trade-off for just the raw damage that you get at distance that nobody else can compare with for you. So we're going to go ahead and start going through all of that. If you want to just kind of skip ahead and see what the full finished build is, I'll do just like always. I'll put a little picture up here for a couple seconds. You know, we'll let you guys, just go ahead and look at that and do a nice little screen cap. But we're going to go ahead and go through level by level what the order of my leveling up the musket is. So that way I can take full utilization of this in my my company's first war as soon as possible. So starting off, we are going to focus the sharpshooter side of the tree. Obviously, by what I was saying, trapper, not so much. Now, there are a lot of really good perks over here that we will be taking later on. But we want to get down here to the ultimate skill of the sharpshooter side of the tree. So we're going to be focusing over there for majority of the early half of our build. So we're going to start off. We're going to take Called Shot. Increase musket damage by 5% if aimed down sight for more than 3 seconds. So as you're holding right click, as long as you're there for more than 3 seconds, you are getting just a standard 5% damage bonus. And that's where a lot of these perks that I'm going to show you in this build, just getting those empower perks, getting those extra damage things, so that way you can dish that damage out from long range is going to be key. Now, you may ask, K-Dog, hey, hi, how are you? Why are we not getting the power shot here? Because in the long run, for war, in my opinion, or even outdoor long-range PvP, there are 3 other abilities that we're going to use. And those are the only other 3 abilities that revolve around non-traps, which is Powder Burn, Shooter Stance, and Stopping Power. Sharpshooter Power Shot is good. 150% weapon damage, does not stack or combine with other overload shots. All of them have that modifier. A lot of what makes Power Shot really good is also further down on the tree. The perks, you get an empower buff here, 10% extra damage on a first blood, headshots do it. This is a great single shot perk, but you have to remember each of these empower shots are also taking time to load up, and that detracts from your effective DPS going out. That being said, I will say you can respec up until level 10. So if until you get up to level 10 on your weapon, and before we're in that kind of war scenario, if you want to take just 1 level of power shot, that would be okay, in my opinion. I understand that as well. But by the time we're heading towards war, I think that by level 10, before you switch over, just that way you can have that extra PvE while you're leveling it up damage or PvP damage. By the time you're getting into wars and things like that, or before level 12, so that way it's free, you need to switch over and get the stopping power rounds. We'll go over that. But we have sidetracked a little bit. We're going to go ahead. Level 2, we're going to get Powder Burn. This is the Musket's bread and butter, in my opinion. Your basic attacks and your Powder Burn. This thing on cooldown, you should be loading in. This has gotten me so many kills and has so much effective damage that has helped also other teammates secure kills, because I am damaging them while they're trying to heal or while they're doing things that are keeping them from being fully effective. So Powder Burn, overload Musket with gunpowder, causing the next shot to deal 110% weapon damage and cause a burn status effect that deals 20% weapon damage per second for 9 seconds. So this is an initial shot that you hit, 110% damage, a little bit of damage buff, but then you get for 9 seconds, 20% weapon damage per second ticks. And that is amazing. And it's a burn status effect. So it is a status effect. And that is key when it comes to a lot of these other things under a status effect or debuffs and things like that. So after we get Powder Burn, we're going to hop over here. Salt on the wounds, plus 10% increased damage to targets below 30% health. This is an amazing perk here, and there's a couple others like it in the Musket, because a lot of what you're using the Musket for and where it shines out, especially in open world PvP, is people are going to be running away from you. That's one of the key things, honestly, in open world PvP and even in wars, is people running away, trying to heal, trying to get their potions off, things like that. This is going to help you secure those shots and secure those kills. So 3, 4, we're going to go ahead and get stopping power here. So that way we have our next ability. Stopping power, overload Musket with gunpowder, causing the next shot to deal 120% weapon damage, staggering target and knocking them back 3 meters. So the reason why we're taking this a little bit more in depth, besides just the basic 150% damage. So this is 120%, also gives a stagger and knocks folks back. So this is good if you are getting pressed in open world. To load this one in kind of gives you a little bit more breathing room. Also, when it comes to war, there are perks down here that not right away we're going to be able to get into, but allows to give a slow and lower stamina regeneration. So this is more just like the Powder Burn. This is a utilitarian kind of a support shot, because it's going to also stack and allow you to deal more damage with just your regular shots as well by applying these effects to it. And also, supporting wise, from up on the ramparts, you're staggering folks and knocking them back. That's allowing your frontliners to get in there and do a lot of damage, and because they're not able to block those combos. So we got level 4 stopping power. Level 5, we're going to go ahead and take Shooter's Stance. Shooter's Stance, the reason why we take this, we'll read it through quick first. Player enters a shooting aim stance to enhance shooting performance. Shots deal 100% weapon damage. While in stance, mobility is reduced to 0 and reload time is reduced by 75%. So Shooter's Stance, you kneel down and you just take 3 quick shots. Obviously, when you click, it's not like, you know, you just click once and, oh, all 3 shots go. No, you aim and you're able to fire off each 3 shots. So you are immobile, like it says, so it does make you a target. But this, combined with like salt on the wounds and a lot of these things, Shooter's Stance is what you're going to use to dish out 3 shots as quick as possible. That's 75% reduced reload time. So you're pretty much pumping it like a Winchester and bolt action or something like that. And it will allow you to actually secure those kills once again on those folks running away, or dish out damage as quickly as possible to help secure certain sites and things like that. This is not one that as somebody's pressing you, you're going to use or things like that, but this is going to help you secure those kills so much easier and help you dish out the damage, because the Musket's biggest flaw is its reload time in between shots, and this pretty much negates that. So you land those 3 shots and you are good to go. After we have our 3 perks, we're going to start leveling them up and taking some of our passives. So we're going to hop over here. Level 6, Backdraft. Standard musket shots deal 12 additional damage while target is on fire. Like I said, all of these are going to start building on each other. So you have people with Powder Burn on them. Now, all of a sudden, all of your regular attacks are going to start doing 12% more damage. That's why I said these powder burn, this powder burn skill is your bread and butter. You're doing more damage now to them per every shot. And in my experience, it does apply to these shooter stance shots as well, because they are not a bonus shot. It's just 3 straight up regular shots. It's not a overload shot or anything like that. So I cannot say for with 100% certainty, but I have noticed when I'm in shooter stance and they do have the status effect on them of the backdraft, I have noticed more damage. Either that or maybe I'm just hitting more headshots and something else happens. But I'm pretty sure the two do combine in my experience. Either way, even if they don't by launch or something like that, this is still a great passive to take that we're going to take. Like I said, either way, we're working down towards the bottom of the tree. Next, Empowering Headshot, level 7. On successful headshot, grant Empower, increasing all musket shots damage by 10% for 5 seconds. Hit a headshot, you deal more damage. All musket shots, that applies to everything. Starting to pick up on where we're going with all this. Level 7, that one's huge. Level 8, Called Shot Resupply. Standard attack headshots reduce all musket ability cooldowns by 10%. If you're able to land headshots, you are able to then keep dishing out that powder burn. Level 8. Level 9, Heightened Precision. While aiming, successful hits with a musket grant a stackable 2.5% damage increase. This effect ends when player stops ADSing or more than 5 seconds passes between shots. Max of 6 stacks. So you can effectively, as long as you are staying in ADS, you can effectively get a 15% damage bonus increase to your ADS. On top of, if you remember, we have the 5% damage increase while we're ADS after 3 seconds. And then if we're landing headshots, it's 10%. Yeah. Level 10. Ballistic Advantage. Removes damage fall off from standard musket shots on targets more than 50 meters away. So now you're not even losing and you are not affected by damage fall off anymore. So now you can definitely hit those people that are running away and it will hit them for full damage. Hit your mark. Increased headshot and critical damage to target the further the target is away from the player for a max of 15% up to 100 meters. Does not forego damage fall off. So what that means at the end there is that it would still be susceptible to damage fall off. But we just took the perk that negates damage fall off, so we can ignore that last sentence. So now, if you're hitting a headshot, your critical hit damage is boosted. I want to say busted for some reason. Is boosted up to 15% at 100 meters away. We are getting so many just straight up. That's why I said, like, the abilities are there, but they are in supplement just to you landing shots over and over with your musket. It is insane. So after we hit your mark for that, last thing we're going to get here, level 12. Chronic Trauma. If powder burn is a headshot, extend burn duration to 13 seconds. So we move up from 9 seconds to 13 seconds. And then we have unlocked what is amazing on this tree and what gives you such an advantage in war and things like that over bow users and everybody else. And that is the Sniper Ultimate perk. Adds an optional 3x zoom view for all musket aimed shots. Use mouse wheel up and down to zoom in and out while aiming. Also grants 15% damage increase to all headshots. So now we have a perk that allows us to zoom in that no other weapon, the bow or anything, life staff, any of those ranged weapons are capable of doing. So you're standing up on the wall of the fort and you are zooming in up to 3 times with the mouse wheel. You are getting 15% extra damage to a headshot. Plus, you're a ways away. It could be up to another 15% damage for headshots there. No damage fall off. Plus, successful hits with a musket. There we go. You hit a headshot. Another 10% weapon damage. It all just piles together. Like I said, you are making the musket work by just landing your regular shots over and over and over, and everything just builds together, and it's amazing. You do so much damage, and you just sit there and snipe, and it's great. Hit those headshots. People sitting on the siege turrets will never know what happened. All right. Level 14. We're going to hop back over towards the trapper side. This is when we're taking a lot of the perks, and they are really, really good. We're going to take level 14, Empowering Weakness. Hitting a target with an active debuff triggers Empower, increasing players' damage to be increased by 5% for 5 seconds. So anytime there is a debuff on an enemy that you hit, increased by 5%. So we're talking slows, we're talking burns, we're talking all of these other fun things that you're already applying just yourself. And now you get another 5% damage. It's just amazing, guys. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Level 15. Weakened Defense. Increase stamina damage to blocking enemies using shields by 50, which is great if they're using shields. That way you can help hit those tanks that are up there with their sword and shield just blocking. Now you deal 50 damage to their stamina right away. So that breaks their stamina so easily. But the main thing about this is, and deal 10% of armor penetration to targets that aren't blocking with a shield. As far as I know, this is like the only armor pen perk in the game. I think there might be one on the spear, if I recall. But either way, 10% armor penetration with a ranged weapon, with sniper and all that, being able to go through armor is huge. Now, the heavy armor is not going to have nearly as much of effect. I mean, I know 10% doesn't seem like much, but it really is when you have all these other abilities powering it up. 10% armor penetration just going straight through as damage. It's insane the numbers that you will get on consecutive headshots. I was doing it during the closed beta. It was nuts. All right, 15, 16. We're going to hop over here. Stopping Power perk. Targets hit with Stopping Power are exhausted, reducing stamina generation speed by 10% for 8 seconds. Main reason we're taking this one right now, it's not as great. It's nice. It helps for shooting, like I said, for staggering those folks in the wars and things like that. This perk by itself isn't really that great, but we need to have something to merge us over into the next level, because you have to take something per level. And Hustle, after dodge, gain haste, increase movement speed. I mean, you're not going to be running around like too much up on the walls and things like that, like after dodge. I mean, I could see maybe taking it, but you're still wanting to get down here anyway, so we might as well take Lasting Impression. Weapon level 17, Tactical Reload. Dodging reloads the musket. Can only trigger once every 6 seconds. So you're there, you're sniping, you hit out a lot of shots. Maybe you're in shooter stance and you finish, and this guy's just one shot. You hit him, they're one shot left. You do a quick dodge, you get to immediately follow it up with another shot. And that's just body shot, whatever. That's why, yes, there is this critical reload here. And some of you guys might be questioning why we're not taking that if we're trying to do a constant reload. Landing 3 headshots with 5 seconds of each other grants an instant reload. I'm really good. I play a lot of FPS. I play Valorant and all that. In this game, in PvP, landing 3 headshots within 5 seconds of each other, unless the person is sitting still in a siege cannon, is very difficult. Very difficult, and I don't think is worth a perk point for the instant reload that you will get once in a blue moon. Now, if you are amazing at hitting these headshots, that could be something that you take. I don't see it. People running around and all that, it gets difficult to hit those headshots consecutively over and over. All right, so we got the tactical reload. So we get a dodge, we get an instant reload. Level 18, kick them when they're down. Deal 10% extra damage to targets with an active crowd control status effect. Slows, roots, stuns. All those other effects that maybe some people on your team are applying to your enemies. So that's just extra damage there. And then, lastly, we are going to take Supplementary Repulsion, which is targets hit with Stopping Power are slowed by 10% for 8 seconds. So now you have your own slow as well to apply. The only reason I take kick them when they're down before the Supplementary Repulsion is because I feel like My teammates are going to be hitting them and have their a lot more easily to apply slows and roots and things like that. A lot easier than me hitting the stopping power rounds and getting the slow there as well. So I'd rather have that just one level earlier to help dish out that damage. All right. And we need to talk about the weapon perks here that go with the musket. And there is one that really the only one that you should be looking at and taking. I'll have those up on the screen for you as well. But the one that stands out with how this build is, and obviously you probably have imagined that, like I said, powder burn is great, is crippling powder burn. And this is why, again, we're taking that other one as well. Targets hit with powder burn are slowed by 5% for 5 seconds. So now you're getting a slow with your powder burn as well. That is definitely the weapon perk that you want to be getting on your musket, ideal god roll wise. There's a couple other ones maybe that I could see. Empowering shooter stance, hitting a target while in shooter stance grants empower, maybe, but it just doesn't compare to actually being able to apply that slow with powder burn and then being able to hit people even easier, getting the damage bonus increase from kick them when they're down. It just all adds together. Trust me. Try and run this during wars, get this leveled up, at least get leveled up here on the left side, so that way you can get that sniper. And then if you can get up and get these like weakened defense and all that, that's great as well. But if you can get up here into the sniper, it will feel amazing. If you even want to expedite that a little bit, I could see you saying just taking salt on the wounds, don't even take salting power, get it one level early. Stopping power, get the sniper one level earlier if you are that close for war and things like that, and respecking a little bit. But otherwise, this build is a lot of fun, does a lot of damage just basing on just you hitting your shots. It's not all required on headshots, but they do give you obviously some perks for doing that, cooldowns, extra damage, etc. But just keep landing those shots, chat. Just keep doing it, and you are going to have a lot of fun. This build is the end all, in my opinion, the end all be all build that is necessary for war. The only other couple things some folks might say, there is, which one is it? Oh, greater accuracy. Some people will be like, oh, accuracy penalty while hip firing removed. In my experience, I thought the hip firing was actually pretty accurate with the musket. So I don't see the point of taking that. That is a wasted point in my opinion. What you're using the musket for in this build is long range, wars, things like that. Those people that are 20 meters away or more, and just getting that damage and getting them with the powder burn, things like that. And then you're swapping if they are pressing you to your other melee weapon. So hope you guys appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I really hope you guys try it and love this build. Again, if you haven't, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Look forward to hearing back from you guys. Make sure you're giving a like as well. We got a couple other builds and things coming out. We got just under a week when we're recording this for the launch. I cannot wait to get in there with you guys. Have a good one. Don't do anything I wouldn't, and I'll see you guys next time.